everyone, Comic Reviewer here, this time reviewing on Action Comics issue number 498. Now, as you know, Action Comics is meant to feature the Man of Steel, which is meant to feature Superman's adventures at the Daily Planet as well as at Metropolis. And the cover has Superman watching on, seeing another version of Superman take on a large explosion. And the story starts off how it points out about two superheroes, one known as Superman, who basically is the protector of Earth, one from another planet known as Thalion, known as Valtox. So of course Valtox heads back to his planet, sees all the good that he's done, and even helps a young girl get her cat rescued from a tree. Suddenly he finds that his planet's exploded, and him leaving as the sole survivor. So of course we see that Lana Lang has dropped her apple, and the guy says, "Here, this candy apple is on me." "Oh, very sweet of you, Lou." And there you are, Lana Lang. And so you've got Ronnie, who tries to hit on Lana, and of course does try to smooth it off. And of course you've got at the Daily Planet, where Morgan Edge is talking with Clark. So of course Clark hears a disturbance and quickly short circuits the elevator, which leaves Morgan Edge to sort of be stuck from the outside, and Superman making a quick getaway so that way nobody could see that he got out. And of course he uses the elevator act and meets Valron. So of course they talk in that and point out about what's happened to his home planet. And of course they find some reason a strange alien ship. They do some investigating, but to Valron's surprise, it's his people crying out and blaming him for the planet's destruction. And Superman finds it weird and sees that the energy beams are thrown at him. So Superman manages to get up and deflects it off, and sees that there was no life on it, just robots, caretakers, and single-handedly punches them out. And of course knows that he can't let the ship still around, and blows it up, and thinks that Valron is still in shock. But of course turns out Valtox has actually kept the case that he was keeping safe, and it turns out it's rocks similar to kryptonite, and he wants Superman to investigate it. So of course he makes a deal with him to say, you can stay at the Fortress of Solitude and work with me in that. Of course we're shown at lunchtime, where Steve Lombard makes a fool out of Clark Kent, and even seeing Lombard saying, "Really sorry about that, Clarky. Tell you what, send me the cleaning bill and I'll split it with you." Steve Lombard, you are beyond belief. And of course Valtox ends up smoothing Steve Lombard into trash, and of course uses his powers to kind of throw garbage at Steve. And of course Clark knows that Valtox has kind of got a lot to learn about keeping identity, which he never did on his planet. And of course Lana does kind of fall in love with Valtox. And we're shown where the next day Clark is getting ready for his next kind of work on the Galaxy Broadcast System. Lana Lang shows up and asks her about her evening, and of course Valtox shows up to talk with Lana, and of course a big explosion happens. So luckily Valtox poses as Superman, with Clark kind of amazed that he was able to pull it off, and sees that he's been using his powers in that quite effectively. And even Clark says, "Gosh, Lana, I'm getting goosebumps. It's almost like I'm seeing the Man of Steel for the first time. Where could Vern have gone? So of course Vartox ends up changing back to his clothes. And of course does hit it off with Lana Lang and then falling in love. And of course Vartox learns from later on doing some investigating in the evening that the rocks that were from his planet were because of him, and that he could be doing the same to Earth. And this is the story. So, this issue is a bit lacking. Again, it comes off as another Vartox storyline, and it does feel like they really were trying to make another epic story. But again, even in the 70s, some elements of the Silver Age were still linking in with the Bronze Age. And of course, it does feel like it still feels like it. So I think this issue deserves a thumbs in the middle. Kind of alright, but kind of okay. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.